Everyone, and welcome to IG Live Esports. We're live this evening with Rapid Pixel Racing GP-2 division, and it's for round 10 of 22 for the French Grand Prix. Looks a bit cloudy on track right now for this qualifying session, so let's get started with this. And as we get into this, guys, please don't forget, guys, to leave a like on the stream, and thank you guys once again for joining on and joining on us for the stream here. So let's see what's happening. So we got a short qualifying session getting started here already. That's going to be 18 minutes of qualifying, and then we're going to get straight over to our 50% race just after that. We got 19 drivers on the grid, so it should be quite an interesting session as we got a few drivers already getting out on track here. So let's have a look as, yep, definitely a few cars are on track. And we're going to get a few stats up on screen here right now. And once again, to everyone currently joining on the stream, welcome, guys. Please don't forget to leave a like on the stream. It does help us out a lot. And if you're new on the channel here, make sure you guys subscribe. Because remember, we can have multiple races like this happening over the course of a week. Of course, we do have the GP-1 division starting the next season coming Monday, I think that is. I've been losing track of what day it is right now. I know it's Friday because we're streaming for GP2. So yeah, guys, GP1 division starting there next season on Monday. That's gonna go through until I think just before the release of F1 2021, which I think is what most leagues are kind of aiming towards right now. I was kind of working a bit on calendars last night just to sync it with mine, just so I know exactly what races I have on which day. I think everyone is basically ending off a week or maybe about 2 weeks early off just before the release of the new game, which I think should be probably July 1st. From what I've seen, that's what the plan is so far. I don't know if any changes have been made to that, but we'll find out more about that as we get along there. So yeah, let's see what's happening here and what our grid looks like. So grid as it is, we got Scotty and Johnny Stokes. His name's always up there. Frank Efron, Big Irish. We got Vagilis there, Lister there, Darson. We got Lewis, Aljudifa, Doiji. We got Barry, who we're currently following here on an outlap. I think Aljudifa is on a hot lap, but we'll switch over to him. Then we got Wooly Mama there. We got James Al, Night Sniper, Crooksy there. We got Rob. We got Mass Baron there. We got Raceway and Love Hate Games. So a few drivers getting started on their hot laps already. And it's an interesting lap around this circuit here. So we're going to see how well these guys stack up at the end of the qualifying session, just to see how competitive the lap times are going to get. As we know, these guys tend to have some very close lap times, about 1,000th of a second to 100th of a second between each other at the end of the session at least. So we'll see how that works out. But so far, so good in this qualifying session. Got a lot of drivers on the track. I think it's quite a busy track there right now. I think almost every driver is out on track. I think just for Doiji, probably the only driver not out at the moment. But yeah, he should be getting out in just a bit. So let's see how this session goes on through. We got quite a few drivers are about to go across the line and start to bring in some lap times here. So let's see how that's going to work out. Of course, there's going to be purple sectors from whoever is currently running a lap at the moment. I'm trying to follow on where, let's see who is going to be bringing a lap first here. There's Raceway on track right now. He's way down more forward at the back. So just trying to have a look, see who is currently coming to bring a lap time in. I think someone invalidated their lap time. They're going to have to try again with that. Alright, so I think we're back to Aljudifa here. Might be the fourth driver to bring a lap time in. That Mercedes in front of him. I'm not sure. That's probably either Lister or Vagilis there. Alright, so let's see. He's about to go across the line here. How fast does he go here? And goes 132.864. Not too bad of a time, but let's see how well that's going to hold up as we have a few more times about to start to come in. Scotty invalidated his lap. We got 2 more times in already. Lewis with a 130.2. And then we got Love Hate Games at 132.5. Not too bad so far. Raceway goes 130.7. 5/10 off the time of Lewis there, so pretty interesting. Lister now goes 130.3. Just a 10th off of what Lewis did. Still holding the fastest time in the session though, so not too bad so far. We're on with Frank Efron right now. Let's see where he's about to go across the line here as well. Let's see where he goes as he gets across. Does he get the time in? Yep, he does. And that is the fastest time in the session so far. That's a 129.130. Quite an interesting time. And we got a lot more times coming in as everyone is about to get across it. And where is Mass Baron right now? He is getting through Sector 3. So just keep on him as he gets through and see where he's going to go in terms of the stack of lap times we have right now. James Al not getting the best of lap. Did a 134.2. And I think a few more drivers getting in the bits there right now. So we'll see how well it stacks up. Big Irish currently in second with a 129.6. A pretty interesting time for him there as well. Darson 130.3. And Johnny Stokes goes 130.3 as well. Quite a few 130.3. Just about a few hundred of a second separate these guys. Mass Baron going 130.4 just after Johnny Stokes there, who's currently in 6th. So that's not a bad time for him. Raceway currently 7. Barry Burbs in 9th. We got Crooksy there in 10th with a 132. We have actually is now going 129.6. Yeah, 129.660, and we got big average, which is 129.687. That's just about 200 of a second time difference between these guys. So quite competitive already, and we still got about 12 and a half minutes left in this qualifying session. So let's see how the rest of the section will go on through. Going back down to Scott, let's see. I think he's on another lap going through here right now. I want to follow Night Snapper there as well. I think he is finishing a lap here. Yes, he is. So let's have a look at that here right now and see how he gets across the line and how fast he's going on this lap. So far not too bad, but a 133.1, you might want to try to improve upon that time. We got Scotty getting around here in sector 3 here at the moment. Let's see how fast he's going to go. Hopefully make it into the top 5 for his sake, because he's doing pretty well so far in the lap, but I'm not sure if he had any purple sectors or not, but we'll see how that works out as we get to the end of this qualifying lap here right now, guys. We still got a lot of time in the session, just about 11 and a half minutes now. And just about, I think about just put 4 drivers left to make some lap times in, so it's going pretty well so far, and it's been very competitive with the grid that we have it, and that is Scotty up into P4 with a 129.9. That's going to hold off pretty well for now, and it's starting to drizzle a bit on track here right now during the qualifying session. So that's going to hamper a bit of the session here right now, because I think that's why everyone was in a bit of a hurry to get out on track and get the fastest lap time in, because once it starts to rain like this, track temperature is going to drop, and automatically means that you're not going to be able to make as fast of a time as you would during a full-on dry session. So even though they're still on the dry tires, it'll be very difficult to now make a very fast lap time. So let's see how the rest of the grid gets on through. Is Matt Barron on a lap? Definitely is, and he needs to try and improve that time before the rain starts to come any more further down. So I think this really is going to put a bit of a pause on this session here right now, because everyone's going to be fighting it off to make their lap times in the first half of it, which is what's happening here right now. By the time we get another 2 minutes in, it's going to start to drizzle a little bit more, track temperature down, and that's going to mean less faster laps as we'll have it. So they will not be able to make a faster time than what they currently have. So let's see how they choose to get through the rest of the session though, because they will have that time that's remaining to try to get some better laps if they can. But we'll see how it works out. I'm not sure if the race session is going to be dry or wet as yet, guys, but we'll probably get some information about that as we get on through with the rest of qualifying here. So let's just keep an eye on that. We got Rob Sim racer there. He's on a hot lap there right now, as well as we got Mass Baron going into the pit. So let's have a look at Rob down in the back here and see what's happening. And he's invalidated his current lap, so not going too well for him. We got Wooly here trying to get the hot lap started. And let's see how that's going there. Just under 10 minutes now left in the qualifying session. Still, just about halfway through, we got to say, so far for quali. And it's been quite interesting with the lap times. We got everyone getting out and getting the fastest possible time they could. Very early off in the session, we got our top 4 drivers all in the 129s. And then going all the way around to P11, all in the 130s. And then we go from 121s and start to increase from there. But it's been quite interesting with the lap times that I've seen it so far. So got to say, guys have been doing pretty well with it, but let's see how the rest of the session gets on through. If anyone is able to make a faster time, as the conditions on track are starting to change just a bit here right now. Whereas the rain, as we can see, is starting to come down just a little bit more, and definitely will affect the performance of the cars on track, and we might see a bit of slipping, sliding if it gets a little bit too wet for these tires here. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, and there we go. So someone did slide off just a bit, reset it on track, but still, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make a fast enough lap time with the time that's left in this qualifying session right now. We got 8.5 minutes left. We got Vangelis getting out on track once again. Gonna do this on the dry tires still, so I think he's about to get started on this hot lap here right now. Let's see if he's able to make a faster time with changing conditions on track as it is here right now. So he did a 129.660. Let's see if he's able to go faster. He seems to be flying through the track still, even though with weather conditions are. I mean, it's not really that wet as yet. It's just starting to drizzle as we can see, but it's gonna start to form some puddles a bit later on, a few minutes down in the session as it is. So we'll see how everything gets on through. But so far so good for qualifying. Quite impressed with the lap times that we're seeing so far from our drivers here, and I think it's going to be quite an interesting start. Remember guys, it is a little bit of a run getting down into turn 1 here for this circuit, so It's going to be a bit bunched up getting through turns 1, 2, and maybe 3 as well. We'll see how well the guys get through. We're going to try to catch as much as we can on camera so that you guys can have a look at the entire grid as they get on through that first turn. But I think it's going to be a little bit chaotic between the midfield of the grid in terms of how much contact there is going to be between cars. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully you guys enjoy what kind of start they're going to have. Once again, guys, please remember to leave a like on this stream. Really appreciate you guys joining us on and watching. So thank you guys for joining on the stream. But please make sure you guys leave a like on the stream. It takes literally just a second to just hit like. So please do make sure you guys do that, at least to show some support for the channel and what we do here. Quite difficult sometimes to get all of these races streamed during the course of a week, but we do as much as we can. And most of you will know stream schedule is being cut down a bit. Well, a little bit as we go each day, and there will be some upcoming changes for Sunday schedule. So I'll actually be posting that in the Discord and probably on the Facebook page. Well, most likely in the Discord. I think I have all of the league owners in the Discord for our channel list, so I'll probably post that there. So a bit of a change is going to be happening for Sunday streams, and the schedule starting from this Sunday itself. I was going to start it from the next one, but might as well start from this one and go from there. So guys, do keep an eye out, and if you're not part of that Discord as yet, the link is in the description of the video on how to join on to our Discord channel for the channel, where you can actually just, if you want to have a chat with drivers and whatnot, in case you're interested in driving for one of these leagues, or trialing for the leagues, as we'll have to put it, because these leagues do put you through a trial before they actually allow you to race here on track, and just so that you don't look stupid or whatever. So I think that's basically the basic idea of it. So we have everyone getting back into the pits here right now. Conditions on track starting to get a little bit wet out there, and I don't think these dry tires are going to be sufficient much longer out here. So they're going to have to probably do these on intermediates if they want to actually try a lap around here. I'm really still not sure if this session is going to be dry or wet for the race. So let's see how the guys get on through, because so far it's going to be very slow laps going through even on the intermediate tires as it is. So I think this might be calling a close on qualifying here, and that might be it over, because a few drivers already retired off of this session. They're not going to be able to make a better time. Rob in the pits, he's definitely not going to be able to make a good enough time to get high enough in the qualifying for the race start here. So as it is right now, it might stay as that. So Frank Efron currently, he holds on to fastest lap in the session here, 130.130. That's going to be a provisional pole start for him if he can keep that time. Bachelor's in second right now with a 129.660. Big Average currently third in the session with a 129.687, 200 of a second slower. There's Scotty in P4 right now, 129.912. Then Lewis in P5, 130.250. There's the first 130 we had. Got a few more 130s getting down to the rest of the session as well. So has been quite interesting in terms of that. So let's see if we're going to have anyone try a lap here, maybe on the intermediates, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're probably just going to get straight over to the race session and get started with that, because with the conditions as it is on track, definitely not going to be able to make a faster lap. As you can see, cars sliding around on those dry tire. So yeah, definitely off for that. Hello Chris, thank you for joining on the stream, man. And I'm looking forward to a great race from these guys myself. So I think that's it for qualifying. I don't think anyone else is going to run. So I'm not sure if the guys are just going to retire off of the qualifying session. And so we can just move straight on to the race, because I don't think anyone else is possibly going to take a chance of running on track, even with intermediate tires. So unless there's wet conditions in the race and they want to do a practice run or two on the intermediates to see what it's like, which is what's happening there. We got a Ferrari getting out on track. And let's see who is that Ferrari there right now. That is Raceway, I think it is. So let's have a look. I think that's Raceway getting out. He's probably just trying to have a run on the intermediates just to see what the field is like on track. I guess just in case if it rains on track during the race, might have to probably just get a feel for it. But let's see if that's what he's doing here right now, if he's actually trying to get a faster lap out of the intermediates from a 130.7. I wouldn't put it past them. I think it might be just possible to actually do that, but it's starting to get a little more wet on track. But let's see how he gets on through with the qualifying here, because just about 3 minutes left, so really not a lot of time. So we'll just let him have his time on track, as everyone's going to be waiting just to get straight over to the race session here. and he does seem to be having some trouble finding any sort of grip on track with that. We also got a few more drivers getting out. I guess they're getting out on the intermediates just to try to have a look of what the conditions on the track exactly are, and if it's somehow possible to make a faster time in here. Let's have a look at what Frank F1 is currently on there right now. They're running on the intermediates there as well. So let's see what's going to happen here, because we know they're probably not going to be making a faster time. I think they're just trying to get a feel of the track on the wet side of it as it is there right now. So let's see if anyone else is going to get out back. Just a few drivers still left in the session. I think probably they would have retired off and just go straight into the race session. And I think I'm getting confirmation from Scotty there. There seems to be... There definitely is going to be some precipitation down at the end of the race, apparently. So we're going to have some rain in the race session as well. There's going to be some rain down to the end of the session. That's been happening quite a lot lately, I'll be honest with you. For the past few streams that I've been doing, there's always been a little bit of rain coming down very late down at the end of the session. And it's hampered the race just a bit in terms of race strategy with drivers and what decision they make in terms of tires. But it always makes it a bit interesting as well. So if that's the case here, we're going to have some rain down at the end of the race. We'll see how well these guys handle the change of conditions on track and how well they're going to adjust their race strategy in terms of pit stops to accommodate that, especially knowing that they have to put their race strategies and tire strategies in terms of accommodating things such as VSCs and safety cars as well. So let's see how well they're going to get off the session, but it should be a dry start and go off to a wet end at the end of the race. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how that plays out. We got just under a minute left in the session, guys, and then it's straight over to our 50% race session, which we're definitely looking forward to the race start to see how chaotic turn 1 is about to be, or how chaotic the opening lap in fact is about to be here. Because even with all the runoff room that we do have on the track, it's going to be quite interesting to see how many drivers are going to break just a little bit late, try to get a few positions up as we get the opening lap going. So we're just waiting for that to get started here right now. Okay, so let's see what's happening. So I think qualifying here officially over. Second half of our qualifying session, not as exciting as the first half, as we had everyone out on track trying to get their lap times in, just because they knew that it was going to be a wet qualifying session going down to the end, as it is going to be a wet race going down to the end as well. So we're going to start off dry and then go to wet. So let's see how the race strategy is going to be with drivers here, because they're definitely going to have to accommodate for that rain as well as for a safety car and maybe a VSC as well, or maybe two safety cars. We'll see how it goes in the race though, because it does depend how much these guys plan on fighting each other. Did hear some rules they expect to have a safety car or so in the race, so we'll see how that goes. And we'll probably go through a bit of the standings as it is right now for the drivers and constructors standing. So we'll just have a look at that in just a bit during the race as well. So let's have a look here. So starting grid as it is, we got a Red Bull starting on pole. There's a Frank F1 starting P1. Vangelis is going to start alongside him in second. We got Big Iris starting in P3. Scotty starting fourth. Lewis starts fifth. Mass Baron is going to start there in sixth. We got Darson starting seventh. We got Lister starting eighth. Johnny Stokes in ninth. Raceway 10th. Barry starting 11th. I got Altuda in 12th. Crooksy starting 13. We got Love Hate Game starting 14. Night Sniper starting 15. James Al starts 16th. Doherty starts 17th. Woolly Mammoth starts 18th. And Rob there starts down in the bottom of the grid in 19th position. And we can see top 10 as a race strategy is at the moment. So once it's a dry start, they should have to start on those tires. And we'll see how that goes here right now with the race start either way, because we know some of these guys will be on the medium, some will be on the soft. So a bit of a tricky situation getting through the first lap here. Okay, so there we go. Getting started on our formation lap here right now, and as we can see, it's going to be a 27-lap race around the circuit here for the French Grand Prix. And welcome, Lucy. Scotty's about to get smoked. We'll see how that goes. He's starting in P4. Let's see how far he's going to be by the end of lap 1. So not the best of support for Scotty there. Let's see how that goes for him. But yeah, should be quite an exciting race start here, guys. Really looking forward to that. So we got Frank Efron there in the Red Bull leading the guys around at the moment. Just one lap to get everything up to temperature and just weave the tires around a bit so much as they can. And just one last feel for the track before they actually get started with the racing here. And it's definitely a dry race, as we can see. Predicted race up strategy, that can go to crap because we know what the situation is. It's going to be starting to rain a bit down to the end of the session. We might have a safety car or two or VSC or two happening on this race. And we know how that changes things up, but definitely going to be around a 2 or 3 pit stop strategy around this track as it is, just in terms of what, depending on what tires these guys are starting on. So let's have a look quickly at the tires that they're currently running on here right now. So as we can see, a bit of a mix of strategies. We have it as here within our top 10. We got 3 of those drivers starting on the soft tires and just first, third, and fifth as they are there. The rest of that grid starting on the medium tires. We got Barry in 11th and I'll do it for 12th. They're going on mediums as well, as is Love Hate Games, Doiji and Rob Swimracer down at the back. And then we got Night Sniper, quite of a different strategy down there in 15th. He's going to be starting on the softs as well, trying to work his way. So he's going to be plowing through the field as much as he can. I think what his strategy is going to be. And then we got a few more drivers there. 3 drivers starting on the hard tires. Are they really planning to push those tires all the way to where they need the intermediates on track, depending on how soon it starts to rain down at the end? Maybe around lap 20 or so, lap 18 to 20 is where I'll probably see some drizzle coming down, maybe. We'll see how it goes though, but I'm just making a wild guess here on that. But yeah, gonna be an interesting race to see with the strategy that we have there right now to see how these guys get through. And we're gonna probably just switch this. Let's put lap data on and then switch this over to position changes. You guys can have a look at the position changes that happen on track as we get on through the start of this race here. And we're going to try, as usual, as we do, we're going to keep our focus on the guy here in second place on the grid, that's Vagilis, and see between him and Frank Efron who gets a better start off that starting grid. And getting down to the turn 1, then we're going to have an overhead view of the look of the entire grid as we get on through and see how this goes. I'd love to see Hot Soju here from GP1. We'll see how that goes. Yep, it would be interesting though to see that. Alright, let's have a look here right now. That is 5 lights and there we go, we're off. And looks like Vagilis gets a split second faster start than Frank Efron there, but still he gets a pretty good lead out front as they get on through. Let's see how the rest of the grid gets through turn 1 here. So far so good. We got a few cars going wide. I see Ferrari just went a bit wide. We definitely had some contact as everyone gets through. We can see 3 cars going through. A Haas and a Ferrari fighting it through there. I think that's Raceway and someone else, I'm not sure. Or if it's Scotty and someone else, I'm not even sure at this point, because that leaderboard is entirely messed up as it is there right now. So very hard to tell who is who at this point. And Arena trying to take it on inside down at the back. But so far so good with the start. Everyone's still in the race as it is. Darson though all the way down at the back of the grid. Lost 12 positions on that race start as we can see. Top 4 drivers right there where they started. Scotty still having some good luck in the race as we get on through here. Lister and Crooksy fighting it for that position for P7. And looks like the Haas has it on the inside. And the Ferrari trying to get there as well. That's Raceway trying to get in the middle of that. Unfortunately not able to as yet. So Crooksy gets a position up into 7th place as it is right now. He's following just behind Lewis though in the racing point ahead. I'm really trying to get that position up. Then we got a battle between Raceway and Lister down in the back for 8th position as it is. And looks like Raceway is getting that position up. Puts the Mercedes down to 9th as it is there right now. And so far so good, but we still got Lister and Raceway going a bit side by side down at the back there. As now Raceway has gotten the position up finally, and looks like he's gonna keep it there. Dawson getting up back at the 18th already. He's trying to work his way back up the grid as much as he can. So quite a mix of in terms of position changes that happen on that start, but glad to see everyone's gotten through pretty well. I'm quite sure we might have some damaged front wings, I'm not sure. Let's see if we're gonna have. We have Johnny Stokes getting into the pits there already, so definitely he has some damage as Crooksy takes it on the outside and gets around. Lewis here puts himself up into P6 already in the second lap of this race as we get on through here. We still got Raceway and Lister fighting it down at the back. Of course, Raceway still holds the lead on that one there, but going pretty well so far. Out in front, Frank Efron still leads the race with Vagilis in second. Big Irish running in third, and Scotty still in fourth as we continue racing on. And Frank has already started to got a gap going. He's already got Vagilis out of that DRS zone, even though we don't have DRS online as yet. So he's trying to get just a good start on that and just trying to keep him quite a way back so that he doesn't have that advantage when they do get to that point in the race. Going down to Lister here. Let's see what's happening with him and Raceway as we're getting just behind. Looks like he's trying to take an inside move on Raceway, but not close enough to actually get that done. He's going to have to hold it back into P9 for now. But so far, so good on the race. So Darson down in the back up to 16th already. So let's see what's happening with him down in the back there, because he seems to be working his way through the field pretty quickly as it is. I'm not sure how he had such a bad start. And that's Crooksy getting a move done on Mass Baron already up into P5. And this is Darson trying to get past Barry here. Goes up behind Night Snapper now. He's going to try and get 14th place in a race. And we're keeping on board with him for just a bit to see how well this is actually going through. But so far so good on that. He's trying to take much different racing line as we get on through here. And we got... Night Snapper went a little bit wide on that one there, left a bit of room open. So Darson taking advantage, getting right up to the rear of the Torres right now. And I think that's Night Snapper into the pits there right now, because that puts, this is going to put Darson up into 14th on the grid here. Barry Buzz moves up a position there as well. Let's get back out front to see what's happening with Lister and Raceway. Once again, these two are still at it going through, and Lewis just in front of them. Of course, Mass Baron now still trying to chase back Crooksy for that position up there. Now Crooksy in P5, he's 1.7 seconds away from Scotty there running in P4. Let's see if he's able to get that position up. And Vagil is trying to work pretty hard out front, trying to keep the gap under a second there as we're on lap 3 right now. So he's trying to make sure he's going to get that DRS advantage as much as he can. Let's put this on tires as it is here and continue on with this race, because pretty close gap between our midfield cars as we have it here. Big Average getting pretty close up to Scotty there now as well. He's, well, actually Scotty's switched positions with him, but he's still keeping the gap as close as he can. That was quite an interesting switch. I'm not sure how we missed that one, but happened pretty quickly. So far so good between Raceway and Lewis here right now. Raceway is actually catching up pretty good to Lewis and looking to actually try and get by, but he does need a good gap to actually try and get his overtake done with. But let's see how close he's going to get in terms of down that pit straight and getting down to turn 1. Goes a bit wide off track here, so needs to be a bit careful with that in terms of losing time to the car in front. Lister now getting very close up behind him, so let's see how close that gap is. So it's a three-way battle going on right now for P7 as it is at the moment. Got a Racing Point of Ferrari and the Mercedes fighting for that position. Vagilis out front getting the fastest lap in the race so far. We're on lap 4 continuing on through, and he is under a second behind Frank and trying to break that gap down to about half a second if he can. So we're going to keep an eye on how that is actually going out front there as well. Doji there in P13 trying to get a move done on Love Hate Games, I think it is, for P12. Still got a bit of a fight between these three as it is here. There was an attempt for a switch for a second ago, but that was not successful, so they're going to still have to continue on with the positions that they are racing in here right now. Down BS behind of this, we do have another battle bro going on with Love Hate Games and Al Judifa here trying to get a position up here. Let's see how well that's going. We got James out just in front of them, as well as Love Hate Games pull alongside them. 3 cars going through turn 1 at the same time, and somehow they make it unscathed. And then we got Love Hate Games gets out in P10. James Owl and Al Judifa still fighting it out just behind though, with the Red Bull of Doji coming just behind that as well. So let's see how close of that's going to be. Looks like Al Judifa is trying to get around the outside of the AlphaTauri, but not unfortunately not able to as yet. I think the Red Bull is trying to hold back maybe just a little bit, just to see what's happening with these guys, if they're going to take each other out or not. But so far so good with a 4-way battle going on for 10th place in the race. And then we still got Lister and Lewis fighting off for that position out front for 8th there. So we're going to keep an eye and see how that goes on through. And let's get back out in front right now. Vatil is trying to get a move done on Frank here, and gets it done down the pit straight, gets ahead, and takes over the lead of the race. Barely caught that. So that was actually a pretty good overtake from him. I think he was timing that one pretty well and just building up to it over the last few laps. So he's gotten that overtake done. He's gotten into the lead of the race, and that's Frank Efron down to 2nd place right now. And he's starting to lose time already about 0.6 of a second behind. Let's see how much he's able to catch up, if he's able to catch up. But Gap's starting to go over a second already. So Vagil is getting quite an interesting lead out front. Let's get back down here with Al Judfa, trying to get past the Haas of Love Hate Games as it is right now. Dorothy coming just close up behind him as well, so you need to be a bit careful with that as it is at the moment. So quite an interesting battle down in the midfield here. Then we got Crooksy in there, P5, about to go side by side with the Big Irish. Goes up into P4 here right now, and is going to continue on through in the race. He's going to chase after Scotty now, who is now about 3 seconds ahead of him. So let's see how far back he puts Big Irish. So both McLaren's running 5th and 6th in the race and got passed by Crooksy so far. Let's get back down to our midfield battles once again to see what's happening here with Al-Judfa and Doiji also with Love Hate Games in the middle of that. Darson and Lister still all in it. So about at least 5 or 6 cars in the mix of it for this one position here. So all still pretty close off and trying to take quite a bit of an interesting line. Hopefully no one goes wide and gets a penalty there. Love Hate Games does have a penalty as it is. Now we got the Red Bull of Doiji and Al-Judfa going side by side trying to fight that through, but Al-Judfa might be able to hold that position true as it is right now. And Vangelis gets the fastest lap once again. So far so good with him. And what's happening out front here right now? Something probably is happening to Frank's car. I'm not sure because he's now last 2nd place in the race. He's down to P3. Scotty's got a head up into P2 and he's going to chase after Vangelis for that position. So let's see how that goes. Doherty trying to get by here right now. And has Al-Judfa trying to really get that position back. Let's see if he's able to. And so far not able to, as he still has Darson and Lister coming just behind him there as well. Hey Brad, how are you doing? Haven't seen you on the stream in a while, so thanks for joining on. Oh, and we got Al-Judfa and Lister still fighting off for this position, so Al-Judfa gets out ahead into P12. Looks like he might keep it ahead, but the Mercedes trying to fight it back here right now and puts himself back up into P12, puts Al-Judfa down back to 13, so not going to be able to get that position on this go here. Frank Efron out front, lost 2 positions in this race so far. Started in P1, he's down to P3 right now with Crooksy coming 2.5 seconds behind him. So that's going to be a bit of pressure coming on him there pretty soon as Crooksy is able to catch up. And definitely going to be able to fight for that position as it is. We got the... let's see what's happening here. So we got Darson here trying to get by Doherty and Love Hate Games at the moment. Let's see how that battle goes on for him because he's pretty close up but still needs to get a bit of a closer gap if he wants to try and get that overtake done. We're currently on lap 6 right now of 27, sorry, lap 7 now of 27 as we continue on through. So we still got just about 21 laps left in this race to go. Still a lot of time left as we have it here yet. So still 4 cars fighting off for P9 as it is here right now. We got Big Irish into the pits there right now, so that's going to put these guys up a position as they get on through here. And let's have a look what's happening with Darson and Love Hate Games as well as Doji as well. All 3 of them still fighting off for that position. But Love Hate Games holds on to P8, Darson still P9 and Doji in 10 as it is there right now. They're still going to continue on in their same positions. Trying to keep an eye out front to see what our gap is like. So Vangelis still continues to lead the French Grand Prix as we have it here right now. Our gap is still about 2.4 seconds. So quite interesting to see how the gap is. I know also quite interesting to see that we still have all 19 drivers in this race as we have it going here right now. Hopefully I didn't speak too soon about that. Now we have two drivers with penalties so far in the race, but not too bad at all. Did expect we might have a little bit more about that because it is a little bit easy to actually invalidate a lap around here. So we'll see how that works out. And out in front we're going to follow with Crooksy here right now because he's catching up pretty quickly to Frank Efron, who definitely seems to be having some trouble on track. Does he have damage on that car? I don't see any as well yet, so I'm not sure what's happening, but he's lost 2 places in the race. He's trying to get he's going into the pits there right now, so that's going to put Crooksy up into P3 right away here. Now he's going to chase after Scotty for 2nd place in the race. Let's see how that's going to continue on. But so far so good with the guys as they get on through. It's been quite an interesting start, and I'm just a bit curious about the strategy that they're using here right now to see how well it's actually working out for them, because it's going to be interesting when we do have that rain come down at the end of the session to see how they're transitioning off. Because I see if quite a few drivers are trying to get, well, they're trying to work some strategy in terms of with the medium, and some of them are working on terms of with the hard tires. So definitely trying to push for a longer stint here to try and get to where the point where it's going to rain and later on in the session. But we'll see how it goes. Hey guys, thanks to all of you joining on the live chat there. Really appreciate you guys joining on and supporting the stream as well. And guys, please don't forget to leave a like on the stream when you join on. I remember if you're new on the channel, make sure you guys subscribe and so you can follow all the races that we do have happening during the course of the week. And let's see what's happening here. We got Love 8 Games and Doiji playing a bit of a switch here. So let's get on board with a Red Bull of Doiji right now. Let's have a look. He does have Lister quite a way back. He's really trying to get past Love 8 Games as it is. And Love 8 Games switching just a little bit around. Let's see how this is working out. So he's trying to be a bit careful with his braking right now. We got a yellow flag somewhere on track. That's in Sector 2. Someone's gone off track. I think that's one of the Renaults. Let's have a look here right now. And that was Rob there. Went off track for a bit. Did you have any damage on that car? Definitely has damage on the front wing. So it's starting to have the issues start to come up a little bit here right now. So we'll see how that gets on through though. Let's get back to the midfield here with the Red Bull of Doiji. See how he's getting through. Has a Mercedes chasing him down. That's Lister going side by side with him. And gets up that position pretty easily there. That was a bit glitch for a second. Yep, so let's see how he's getting by. He's chasing after Love 8 Games with a pretty close gap. Has been for quite a few laps now. Let's see if he's able to get by. And still has that Mercedes behind of him. I don't know why he showed for a second that he was going ahead. And what's happening down in the back here? We got Frank and Aljudifa. He's coming back to the pits in 11th right now. We'll see how the rest of the race goes on through for him. Out in front, we have Crooksy running on those hard tires. He's up into P3 already from the start of this race. Vangelis has taken over the lead of the race, and we got Scotty took over second place so far as it is. So let's see how the strategy works for them, as we're trying to see how far they're actually going to be pushing this and going through here right now. We still got Doiji and Love 8 Games still fighting off for this position as it is. Lister's still trying to get around these guys and still trying to get that position up. I think someone is glitching off just a bit, and might be Lister here. I'm not sure, because this car is going a bit on and off and around the track as it is right now. And Doiji seems to have been disconnected off of his car there, so that's going to hurt his race a bit. His teammate coming just behind him will be able to get by though. Let's get on board for a second here with Lister and see how he's getting through, chasing after Love 8 Games in the house right now. And Doiji's back on, so he's back onto his car there right now. His teammate, of course, he has gotten past him already. So we'll see how he gets through the rest of the race though. We got a switch about to happen here as Lister is going to take the outside around the house. Oh, and a bit of contact between them. Doesn't actually get the move done. Has to hold it back into 9th still for now. So somehow Love 8 Games has managed to keep his position as they race on through here. And both of these guys do have a penalties, and as well as 9 stepper down in the back. Let's have a look at penalties as it is there right now as well. I'm going to put telemetry on so you guys can have a look at that. So penalties as it is a 3-second penalty for every driver who has a penalty so far in the race. What's happening down in the back with these two as it is? Waiting for my interval times to come back on so we can have a look on where their close gaps are. I'm just trying to follow based on Johnny Stokes now gets a penalty there as well. Got a 3 battle going on here for this position as well still as we have it. So Love 8 Games and Lister still fighting it out for P8 as it is. That Mercedes is not giving up, but is still not able to fully get by and get the position up as it is right now. But still a pretty interesting fight between them. Thank you very much, Brad. Appreciate a comment on that there. Do try my best. I do try my best on that. Always a lot of fun to have a chat with the guys that get into the live chat there as well. As just try to keep following what's happening here. Oh, and Crooksy gets the fastest lap. So out front, let's have a look here quickly. So I think Scotty went into the pit. So Crooksy took over second place in the race. He is now 5.1 seconds behind Vangelis, who's in the lead. So want to see how well he's going to catch up there right now. Going back to Raceway here right now. Chasing after James Allen for P4. And gap is getting pretty close out between these two. So let's see how that's going to work as we stay on board just a bit with Raceway to see if he's getting much closer. And he is breaking that gap down just a little bit more as we continue to race on through by turn here. And we do have Raceway on the medium tires. Of course, James on the hards as it is there right now. So let's see how close off he gets with a DRS advantage and not using the overtake. So he's keeping that as much as he can. So that gap is going to continue to go as it is there right now. Yep, we do have Mass Baron here, who's gotten up into P3 in this race so far and still running on the tires that he started the race on. Hasn't done a pit stop as yet, so running pretty well in the race as it is. 6.9 seconds behind Crooksy there, and does have James behind of him, 5.3 seconds. So he does have a bit of a gap to work with, both in front of him and behind there as well. So let's see how he gets on through it. But so far he's looking pretty good at finishing right around somewhere at the top of the grid here. And let's see what's happening here with, we got James Allen spun around. I'm not sure if there was contact between him and Raceway, but definitely something left to happen. Might have just lost the rear, but I'm not sure. But he's getting back going again. Doesn't have any damage on the car, so that's a good sign for him there. And still a good sign. We're on lap 12 of 27, and we have all 19 drivers still started this race, are still in the race as it is here right now. And then let's see what's happening here, because Mass Baron is now into the pits. He's doing his pit stop. Let's see how that's going to work out. James Allen and Scotty here fighting it off for fourth position in the race right now. Scotty getting up as close as he can, and he does look like he has some significant pace on those fresh tires. So let's see how that's going to work for him, because he's closing the gap very quickly and looking to get by. Just needs a perfect gap to do so. And looks like he might actually get this overtake done pretty shortly. So let's have a look at that. Does have the Ferrari of Darson in front of him to deal with once that is done. Of course, Crooksy, who is now up into the lead of the race, Vangelis took a pit stop, is out into second place. Darson needs to take a stop there as well, in running third at the moment. And we got Scotty going on the inside of James All, who takes over fourth position in the race and gets that position quite cleanly up. And let's have a look how far behind is James. He's still chasing him down for the position, but unfortunately not close enough of a gap to get this done. Scotty now going to chase after Darson and try to get up into P3 in the race if he can. Of course, Darson is quite a way out front. Let's see how far away he is. Actually not too far away. It's within a second now. So he's really going to try and catch up as much as he can, and he's on those fresh hard tires, so he does have a bit more grip to work with. And Darson there on the 11 laps on the mediums, he's going to have to be a bit careful about how much he actually pushes on those tires, because they might start to go just a bit. That sounds pretty interesting if they're going to be doing that, but that would be something fun to have a watch out as well. So guys, just keep me updated on that one there at the end of the season, what's going to happen between the top 10 of GP1 and GP2, if we're going to have one race just to determine what's going to happen with that. That's going to be a lot of fun though, to do a mix between the two divisions and just have one race go through with that. That's a pretty good plan. So let's keep an eye on that situation as it goes through, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun for the guys to watch as well. Let's get an eye what's happening here. So both McLarens once again running 5th and 6th, just behind of each other right now. So Mass Baron 6th and his teammate Big Irish there in P5. They're within half a second of each other, and looks like Mass Baron might have a better much better pace as he goes on through by his teammate pretty easily through. So quite an easy switch. So he gets up that position up to P5. Big Irish takes the position down to 6. And they're going to continue to race on through. So Mass Baron is going to chase after James Allen there, who's currently running in P4. Of course, does have to do a pit stop at some point. So does Crooksy there in the running in P1 on those hard tires. 12 lap down on them. So they can probably go a bit more on those tires as well. I think the plan was to probably go until it does start to show some signs of rain on track. And maybe they'll take a pit stop to go onto the inters then if needed there. But we'll see what the plan is exactly. But I'm thinking that's what is happening here. Or those of them running on the hard tires since the start of this race up to this point as it is right now. We're on lap 14 of 27 and going through right now. We're just past the halfway point of this race. And it's showing no signs of being even a bit cloudy on track as yet. But I think that's probably going to happen by the time we get to lap 20. So let's see how that track conditions work by the time we get to that point in the race. And let's see, do we have any closer battles to follow on here right now? We got a few pit stops happening at this point in the race, and of course a few cars with the penalties as it is there right now. We got the Renaults down in the back fighting off for positions here. So Barry takes over at 17. They got Rob running down at 18. I think a bit of contact between the two of them. One Renault goes into the wall. He's getting back around and get back going again. That's Barry getting back there. Rob, does he have damage on his car? Definitely does have damage on his car. So a bit of contact between the Renault drivers. I don't think the team is going to be particularly happy about that one there. I think definitely going to have a bit of meeting about that one at the end of the race. We'll see how that works out. We got Frank here from getting back out to the pits here right now. I think this is his second pit stop in the race so far. He's going onto the hard tires right now, probably trying to go to the end of the race on those in case the rain doesn't need them to switch over to the inters. We'll see how the strategy works for him though. Going back out in the mid, down in the mid, a bit in the back of the field here, right, I'll say. We got Lister, Love Hate Games, and Doherty still fighting it off for a position as it is. We got Doherty and Love Hate Games, a pretty close gap, as is between Lister and Love Hate Games there as well. So Love Hate Games in the middle of this. I'm not sure what he thinks of this right now, but let's see how that's working out for him. But he gets by Lister, goes up into 12th place in the race, and puts the Mercedes down into 13th. Of course, Lister still chasing him off for that position. Has Doherty coming just behind, and we can see it's getting a bit dusty a bit on track here for some reason. Or is it starting to get a bit cloudy right now? I think it's starting to get a bit cloudy here right now. So I guess our rain should start to settle in by the time we get to lap 18 to 20. We should start to see some minor drizzles start to come around. Hopefully by then we'll see it. Or maybe even sooner. We'll see how it goes. But so far so good in this race. We got all 19 drivers still in. I'm still surprised that we still have all 19 drivers in this race. It's quite interesting to see that. So let's see if everyone is able to finish the race. That would be quite an interesting finish if you can have the entire grid of drivers finish the race from what started here. Well, thank you very much, Brad. It's always good to have you in the chat as well. I know you do check out the streams from time to time, so love having you on as well there. I do watch NASCAR just a bit. I just don't have any of the NASCAR games. I've thought about getting one, but I do need the time to get through to it, so I don't have the time right now, so didn't really bother with that. I do have quite a few games I bought. I've never even got a chance to play this yet, so they're still sitting there and just waiting to be played for now. So hopefully get some time coming up sooner as I'm decreasing the stream strategy. So we'll see how that works, because I'm just decreasing the amount of days or the amount of streams that I do. So hopefully get some time with that. Then what's happening to Doherty here right now? I think he's gotten disconnected again. Oh, he's back on. He's fine. I was wondering if he was getting some trouble there. And we got Lister here trying to get around Love Hate Games once again. These two have been at it for the entire of the race as far as I'm concerned. And most of the time I think it was Love Hate Games in the lead ahead of Lister. So let's see how he's going through with them. But so far so good. Out in front though, we got Crooksy leading this race by 14.5 seconds with Vangelis running in second. He does have to do a pit stop. Scotty running in P3 still. James Owl in P4. Mass Baron in P5. Big Irish there is Steven in 6. Raceway 7. Johnny Stokes in 8. Darson 9. Jennifer running 10. Lewis running 11. Lovely Games there in 12. We got Lister just behind him here in 13. Doji 14. Willie Mammoth 15. Frank Efron run 16 right now. Nice Sniper 17 as we got a switch with Love Hate Games and Lister here happening. Then Rob there 18th and Barry his teammate 19. And that's a Mercedes up into 12th position in this race here right now. So quite an interesting overtake. Got that position done quite well. And let's see if he's able to hold it as they continue racing on through, because Love Hate Games is not giving this up. He's still running pretty close up behind the Mercedes of Lister. And he's really going to try and keep the gap as close as he can just to try to get that position up. I don't know why my delta times keep going away for some reason, but we still can follow along with what's happening on the map on track there right now. Let's go on down to Love Hate Games here right now. Oh, he was trying to get a move around the outside, still pushing on through for it. A bit of wheel-to-wheel contact with him and the Mercedes. They still get on through pretty well, no damage, and I don't think any damage either way, but I think that was just wheel-to-wheel contact. I don't think there was actually any damage there. And Lister actually got up another position out in front. He's gotten ahead of Lewis here in the racing point. So he's up into 11th place in the race right now, doing pretty well for himself. We got Love Hate Games trying to get past the racing point as well. Of course, that racing point on pretty old tires there. 10 laps on those mediums, probably starting to tell on him just a bit. So it needs to be a bit careful. We're on lap 17 right now of 27. I'm trying to have a look, see if we have any spots of drizzle coming in, which is going to make the race just a little bit more interesting when that starts to happen. I think we need a lap or two more for that just to start to set in here. So, I'm going to wait for that because it is getting a little more cloudy on track. We have the DRS advantage, of course, alive for the guys under a second with the car in front of them. So, let's see how that advantage works, because Lister and Lewis both with the advantage as they get on through this portion of the track. Lewis very close off to Lister there in 11th. And that is Lewis with a penalty now. I have to be a bit careful about that. We got Darson, he's trying to keep himself under a second with the car in front, and that car in front is Johnny Stokes there as we have it. Oh, and a bit of contact between the Haas and the racing point as they continue racing on through. No damage between them, still racing very closely after each other. This go down pretty badly, but they've gotten a switch. Love Hate Games is running there 12 still. Well, running now 12, and Lewis down to 13th right now. So Love Hate Games is following Lister into the lead right now as it is, and has Doji about 1.7 seconds behind, so not too worried about him right away, but he's starting to creep up just a bit. And we're going to switch off over to Darson here, getting very close up behind the Alfa Romeo of Johnny Stokes. And now we have that drizzle coming in lap 18 as it is, so we do have that drizzle start to come in, which means we're going to have to wait for a few more laps before these guys are ready to go on to the intermediate tires as it is. And we got Darson about to get by, gets the position up, quite an interesting overtake without any contact at all between the two of them, gets up into P8 as it is. Johnny down to 9th, and let's see if he's able to get that position back, and the race on through. Hey Retro, thank you for joining on the stream, man. Happy to have you on, and thank you very much for the donation there on the channel. Really appreciate the support that you put on through here as well. Has been a channel member for about 6+ months now on IG Live Esports, so he was actually our first channel member that we got on the channel here, so has been with us for quite a while and supporting the channel back even before I used to do the esports stream full time. I think I was doing basically a bunch of other games at that time when he started to be a channel member, but yeah, he's been supporting the channel since then, so really happy to have him on. Guys, do check his channel out. He does a lot of retro games on his channel, so a lot of fun to watch, guys. I usually enjoy watching it myself. It's the kind of games that we usually played like years and years ago. Some of those games probably came out when we were some of us were not even born as yet, depending on how old some of you guys are. But yeah, a lot of fun games he does on his channel, so do check him out. Retro of HD, a lot of fun games that he does, and trying to follow what's happening here. How close off is Johnny behind Darson right now? He's trying to catch back up, but gap is still on. He's still under a second. Does have the DRS advantage, but still not able to close the gap. Just under half a second, which is what I'm trying to follow. Out in front, we still have Atlas leading the race as it is, and Scotty there still running in second place at 5.1 seconds, but he does have a penalty. We'll have to see how the penalties work out as we get closer to the end of the race here. Crooksy running P3 is still in a podium good position, and he's trying to keep himself within a 3-second radius of Scotty there, so try to get onto second place by the end of the race as it is. James running P4, Masbrand running P5 as it is right now, very close after James as well, so let's see how that's going on through. He's trying to get a gap to get by. Of course, this rain is really starting to come down a little bit more here right now. That is definitely going to affect performance of these cars. And we got someone went on to the intermediates already. 2 cars have gone on to the intermediates. How is that going for them? Because I don't think it was ready. So I think we needed a lap or a lap and a half more actually before going on to the intermediates. But let's see how much grip they do have on track, because it's literally just started to drizzle a lap ago. So really I don't think this was a wise choice. And let's have a look on board with Big Irish here right now. I want to see if he's struggling with those tires, and he is struggling a bit to brake in terms of getting it wrong. And we do have the Mercedes of Lister about to get it wrong him as well. A bit of contact between the two of them as they get on through, and the Haas of Love Hate Games trying to get through as well. A bit more contact between the Mercedes and the Haas, and that's the Haas getting off track just a bit. That is Love Hate Games. They're losing off about 2 or 3 positions more because of the contact with Lister and the Mercedes. But quite an interesting change with the rain coming down, but I really don't think those intermediates are working as well as they need to be here right now. It's not well enough on track for that as yet, but I think by lap 21 would be the most optimum point to actually do this. But let's see how the rest of the guys get on through here. William Mammoth here chasing after Love Hate Games right now. A pretty close gap, is it? Or I think his gap is with close to someone else. Oh, that's just a frozen gap for a second. Let's have a look out front. Crooksy trying to get up a position there from P3 to P2 ahead of Scotty, and let's see if he's able to get that done. He's keeping as much of a close gap as he can to fight for second place. He knows Scotty has that penalty. I'm quite sure he knows about it, and I think he just wants to try and take a bit of advantage of that and try to get by, and just hoping that probably Scotty will allow him to go by. But I don't think Scotty's going to give that up. Not the kind of driver he is. He's going to hold that position off as much as he can, or as long as he can. But here goes Crooksy up into P2, takes it on the outside and gets the position up. Quite cleanly done, and that's going to put Scotty down to P3, unfortunately, with his penalty that he has, which I think is just a 3-second penalty. Brad, I know you have a lot of games you haven't played. Get to them at some point, because it's a lot of fun even playing retro games. I do it sometimes still, just in my personal time when I do have time. I do those things as well. I just don't do that on stream. I have Retro's channel to watch for indie games and retro games, so I don't have to worry too much about playing them. So I usually check out the games that he plays. All right, let's keep. Oh, we got Vangelis into the pits right now. I think he's starting to go onto the intermediates as it is here right now. I think it's warming up to that point, as you said. Probably about lap 20 or 21 is the best chance or best time actually to go onto the intermediate tires as it is, because the track is going to start to actually build some puddles a bit as the rain gets on through here right now. There is still sufficient grip, however, on track for the dry tires as it is on this lap as it is. So by the end of lap 20. Sorry, but in the lap 21, I'm not sure what's going to happen. And Woolly Mammoth is out of the race. We got a safety car for that incident there. That's going to trigger pit stops for everyone to get onto the intermediate tires as it is here right now. Trying to have a look to see if you can see where his car is on track. And there is his car on the right-hand side of the track, down at the side in the barriers there. So quite a nasty incident for him there. I'm not sure if he had contact with anyone or just lost grip on track. And we have everyone getting into the pits there right now to try and get a change of tires and get onto the intermediates to get back out on track. So far so good. Quite an interesting race we've had, guys. Qualifying was very interesting as well, with everyone getting out very, very early, just because there was rain at the end of the qualifying session as well. So they tried to get a fastest lap in as much as they could before the halfway point of that session. Then start of the race was fully on dry. We had quite some interesting battles going through this race, and it's been quite more interesting even as soon as it started to drizzle here in terms of the battles we have happening on track. So I'm trying to follow as much as we can. Of course, we're still under the safety car and running here right now. And yep, that was a very, very clean pass there, Brad. And some of the kind of racing that we usually see here from this division of RPR. We have the group, the GP-1 division that's starting Monday as well. Those guys have some quite interesting races. They do usually as well, because I've done quite a lot of streams for them in the past, and we'll start the new season on Monday, so we'll see how they get through. And we'll probably be doing a bit of a comparison between GP1 and GP2 division that we have it. So it's a GP1 division on Mondays, and this is a GP2 division currently we're doing here on the Fridays. So quite an interesting league, a lot of drivers in, and we do look forward to having full grid or near to full grid every single week that we have these races here. So it should be a lot of fun doing this here. Once again, Retro, thank you very much, man, for the support on the stream with the donation there. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoy using those what do you call them, those team emojis that I put on there. I'm looking to add some more as soon as we get a few more channel members on as well. But yep, a lot of fun for I had a feeling that might be a lot of fun for you guys to use, because it's basically mostly about F1 esports on this channel. So why not put you know, emojis that reflect for the teams as well, so you guys can support the teams and just use those. Of course, we're only allowed to put, I think, about 5 of them for now until we gain some more members and whatever, and then we can get through to that there. So for everyone who is joining on the stream, welcome once again, guys. Thank you guys for joining on the stream. Please remember to leave a like on the stream, guys. Really appreciate your support. And please, guys, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And right now we're still following under the safety car still, going through on lap 22 as it is here right now. We have Scotty following the safety car. He is in P1. He's still on his hard tires. I actually just noticed that he has not made a switch onto the intermediate tires as yet. So let's see what his strategy is going to be, because Vangelis is about 8 seconds behind, and he's catching up pretty quickly because Scotty is not allowed to drive any faster than what he's going here right now. I'm quite sure Retro will check you out too as well, Brad. Don't worry. And both of you guys are in my my channel Discord as well, so not hard for you guys to find each other in there in terms of that. But yeah, I do enjoy the stuff that Retro does. It's a lot different from what I do, so it makes it a lot more interesting, you know, to watch the content that he usually puts up. I was checking out something that he was doing last night. It was last night or the previous night, I think it was. That's why I asked him about the camera, if it was another camera he was using, because the image just looked a bit cleaner for some reason. It just felt cleaner compared to the other streams that he used to do before with the face cam. So I was just wondering about that. But yeah, let's see what's happening. So we got Scotty going into the pits here right now. Let's see how much positions he's about to lose with this pit stop at this point in the race here right now. Vangelis will be getting ahead and following under the safety car, going into lap 23 here right now of 27. We don't have a lot of laps left here. So let's see how these guys get on through this, because it's going to be quite interesting now. And we got Johnny Stokes on the soft tires there as well as Frank, Night Sniper, and Rob. They're all on dry tires. So they do need to switch off onto the intermediate tires right on the track. It's definitely wet enough for it at this point. So let's see how the end of the race is going to go. It's always a bit tricky in a race whenever it starts to rain this late on in the session, because you really got to plan your race strategy well in terms of adapting to this and trying to save yourself from an extra pit stop to get onto intermediate tires. So really and truly, these guys have to be a bit careful with the strategy that they plan to use in a race as well. But has been quite an interesting race, I gotta say. From the start to this point, has been very interesting to see. If you guys missed the qualifying session, I would advise watching at least the first half of qualifying to see how fast everyone got out on track and got some very good lap times in. It was quite competitive with those lap times at the end of the qualifying session to see how well these guys stacked up in terms of that. Yeah, Brad, your channel is interesting as well. I do watch the stuff that you do. I did join on one of your chat at one time. Yep, I didn't expect I was joining on the chat, but I did join on because I was bored at work at the time, just to see what was going on there with your game as well. So it has been interesting. I probably have to get back to some PC gaming later on, but not right now. Maybe in a few months time I'll probably get back to that. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes you do get to test out free games, new games that is, on PC rather than the way we get to do it on PS4 and Xbox. We don't really get the same way here. Usually if they allow you to do it, then it's the way you get it. Trying to rule the world. Oh, you're not trying to rule the world. Okay, I get it. I thought you were trying to rule the world. I would be surprised about that. Okay, so let's see what's happening with our race so far. So we're running in lap 23 right now, and we're still under the safety car and continuing on through, and we still have Agilus now leading the race. Crooksy running in second. Where is Scotty right now? How far did he come back out? I'm trying to have a look, and he's out in P7 as it is. We still have Johnny Stokes running on those soft tires. Is he going to do a pit stop here? And why is what's happening here? Is my leaderboard getting mixed up or what? Oh, he's in the pits there right now, so he's getting into the pits there right now. And what's happening with the safety car here right now is it going in or not? How many laps have we been under the safety car? I've been chatting away and I haven't paid attention to when we had the safety car start, so I'm not sure how much longer the safety car is about to stay out. Hopefully it's going in at the end of this lap, so we'll have lap 25, 26 and 27 of racing left here on the wet conditions, and that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So let's keep an eye on that. By the time you guys get around to sector 3, we should be able to know if the safety car is about to go in and we're about to get back racing. But guys, it has been quite an interesting session. So once again, gotta say thank you to everyone who's joined onto the stream to watch this race here today, and to everyone who will watch this race after even the live stream ends. If you're watching then, thank you guys for watching, and make sure you guys leave a like on the video as it is. It does help us out a lot. And remember, if you guys are new here, just make sure you guys subscribe as well. And once again, to Retro, thanks very much to the donation he made on the stream. One of our longest channel members that we had on the channel here, so glad to have him on this live stream as well. Does a lot of fun stuff. What are you talking about, Brad? You mean during the during a safety car to have them chat away? Yeah, they're probably having their own arguments as in their own party chat as they have it there right now. But let me get a new setup and I'll work something out of that, so we can probably bring that on stream during safety cars and have a chat with drivers quite easily. And there we have it. Safety cars going to come in on this lap. It's something I'm working towards right now to just have that set up later on. But we're going to have a lot of new things happen on my channel here for these esports streams when it comes to the new game coming out. Since it's July 1st, it's coming out, F1 2021. Once that happens, we're going to have a lot of different stuff happening on the channel. So look forward to that as well. Yep, I know race commentators are duos, but I do need someone that's able to keep up with me in terms of doing the commentary. So usually I just enjoy doing it by myself, so that's why I just keep it most likely for that for now. My Discord is busy. I haven't been too much in it for the past 24 hours, so I'm not even sure, but I have to have a look. Okay, so I think we're about to get back started here right now. We're keeping an eye on Vagilis and Crooksy. They're getting around the final turn here right now. And let's get on overhead right now to see how they're getting away. So Vagilis gets away pretty well with the lead after that restart from the safety car there. Let's see how they get through turn one. Safety car is back into the pit lane, so he's safely off. and I think everyone's getting through pretty well. Raceway and I think James are fighting off a position. Raceway takes it on the inside of turn 1, gets up that position into P4. James down to P5 as it is here right now. The rest of the grid continue on through. I don't think any major... Oh, and Scotty's out of the race. Unfortunately, what's happened down in the back? I'm trying to have a look right now to see where is his car. Did he retire in the pits? I'm not sure. He might have retired in the pits there, guys. I'm not 100% sure about that. It does look like Scotty retired into the pits. Let's get on back with the rest of the race as we have it here. Get back on the overhead view. We got Crooksy chasing after Vatulis for the lead of the race. Of course, we're on lap 25 and going here right now. So very, very close to the end of the race. As we can see, the cars are going to be running a bit of a train going on through. James here chasing after Racer, trying to get that position back if he can. Absolutely no DRS is going to be available for the remainder of the race here because of the conditions that we have on track. So they'll just have basically their... straight line speed and a little bit of overtake which they can use. We got James about to go side by side with the Ferrari of Raceway, trying to get it on the inside. Will he get that position up? Let's see. Does it look like he get it up? And yep, Raceway is down to P5. James gets the position back up to P4 right now. But he now has 2 Ferraris running behind of him, so quite a bit of a dangerous situation there. So he's going to have to be a bit careful about that in terms of then catching back up once again. Crooksy getting under a second behind Badgers right now, really trying to catch and get away with that lead if he can out front. We'll see how that battle continues on though. And Darson is right up close just behind his teammate. His teammate is chasing after James out still as we just had that overtake happen. So let's see what's going to happen with that there, but a pretty close gap. I'm trying to have a look at down at the bottom here with Lewis and Johnny Stokes here to see if he's able to get by. Has a pretty close gap, but Johnny's keeping that gap a bit constant as it is there right now. So it doesn't look like he might get that position up. We got about just about 0.1 of a second ahead of us gap between the 2 Ferraris. So let's see how they get away with that, but so far so good there. And these guys are trying to keep their cars on track as much as they can here, trying to avoid any invalidated laps as is, because they really don't want to just mess the race up with the positions that they currently have on track. But it's been quite an exciting race so far, getting up to this point. We have our battle starting to ease up just a bit, but we still got overtakes happening. We got Darson still chasing after his teammate. Raceway falling back just a bit now. James out getting just behind Mass Baron. Now he's trying to fight for that position as it is, trying to get up into a podium position. We're going to put penalties on so you guys can have a look at penalties as it is there right now. Some big penalties there for Big Irish and a drive-through penalty for Love Head Games. That's going to hurt him there, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to solve that before the end of the race, but you'll have to. Oh, that was your first stream. Interesting. So I joined on to the first stream that you did there, Brad. So not bad at all. I did enjoy that one as well. It was a lot of fun. I only had to get off because I was working at the time and I started to get a bit busy around there. So, yep, I'll join on next time you're on though. Let me know. Just tag me in the Discord so I'll know what's going on, because I am in your Discord there as well. And let's follow on. So James All gets up the position into P3 here right now. Of course, he does have a 8-second penalty. Mass Baron there with a 3-second penalty. There's a 5-second gap between them, and there's only 0.4 of a second of an actual gap. So that means that Mass Baron will be moving up into P3 in this race for the finishing position. We're going into the final lap here right now. And out front, we do have Crooksy 1.3 seconds behind Vagilis. Vagilis, of course, with a 5-second penalty. That's going to be him losing out on the lead of the race. So he will probably go across the line P1, but Crooksy is going to take the win. Vagilis will have to take second. Mass Baron is going to take third on the podium. James Al will have to go down to P4 as it is. Race will take fifth. Darson 6th. And then there will be a switch between Big Irish and Lister there. And probably between Johnny Stokes as well. So Big Irish might go down to 9th position. Lister and Johnny Stokes might go up a position each. And then Doherty finishing in 10th. But we'll see how this works out, because of course we do have a lot of hit games with that drive-through penalty, and he didn't serve it. I don't know if he's going to serve it on the very, very last lap, but he will lose positions a lot still because of it there. But he does have quite a big gap behind him with Barry Burbs there. So I think he'll be able to get through the pit lane and finish across the line, and probably just finish right there in 14th position as it is. I've seen a driver finish a race in the very final lap doing a drive-through penalty as well. So wouldn't be surprised and put it past him here. So let's follow on with Vagilis here as he's about to get it wrong. Final few turns to finish off the French Grand Prix here. This is round 10, of course, guys, of 22 for Rapid Pixel Racing GP-2 division. Has been quite a fun race, quite a fun evening with these guys in terms of qualifying and the race session. And with changing conditions on track as well. So we're about to have We're about to have Vangelis cross the finish line in first place. Of course, because of the 5-second penalty, he will go down to second. And Crooksy, who's currently in second place, will be able to take over the lead and get the race win for this session here. And there we have that switch happening already. So Crooksy takes the win for the French Grand Prix. Vangelis goes on to second. And the next switch happened with Raceway getting up onto the podium in P3 because of penalties down below with Masbaron and James there. So Raceway gets P3. Masbaron takes P4, unfortunately. Darson takes 5th. James Al takes 6th. Lister takes 7. Johnny takes 8. Lewis takes 9. Big Irish takes 10. Doiji takes 11. Frank takes 12 as it is right now. And let's see how the rest of the grid finishes off too, because Barry already takes 15th. Jennifer takes 13th. Then we got Love Hate Games coming through. He does have to do that drive-through penalty. Is he going to do it? No, he's going to go across the line. Is he going to be disqualified, or is he going to get another penalty? I'm not sure what's going to happen. Let's have a look at what he's doing here right now. So he still has a chance to go into the pit lane and finish off the race here as it is. Let's see what his decision is actually going to be here. So still at least about 2 more turns to get it wrong. Moving quite slow on track as it is for some reason. Or at least we're seeing that. And yep, he is going to finish the race in the pit lane. And that is Rob taking 16. Night Sniper takes 17. And we're going to have Love Hate Games here. He's going to be taking 14th position by finishing the race in the pit lane. And this is the second time I've seen this happen, so I know it does actually happen there. And he has a big enough gap to actually still cross the line in P14 as it is. And there we go, it gets across the line for that. So that is the end of the French Grand Prix here, guys. Round 10 of 22 with RPR GP-2 division there. So let's have a final look at the results. And that is Crooksy getting the driver of the day for this session here. Not too bad of him of getting that. So quite an interesting finish there. Good job on Crooksy getting driver of the day. Alright, so let's have a final look at the results. So there we go. So interestingly, Crooksy gets driver of the day and also takes the win for this French Grand Prix. We got Vangelis finishing in second on the grid. We got Raceway finishes third on the podium there. We got Masbaron finishes fourth. And he gets fastest lap as well, so not too bad for the McLaren driver there. We got Darson finishing in 5th, James takes 6, Lister 7, Johnny Stokes takes 8, we got Lewis taking 9, Big Irish takes 10, Doiji 11, Frank F1 12, Aljuda for 13, Love Hate Games takes 14, Barry Bob takes 15, we got Rob taking 16, Night Sniper takes 17, we got Scotty taking 18th, and Woolly Mammoth takes 19th in the session there. Okay, so thanks to everyone who joined on to this session here to watch this race here with RPR and myself here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the race. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the commentary. Once you guys did, or even if you didn't, all just make sure you guys leave a like on the video. It does help us with the channel a lot. So hopefully you guys enjoyed everything, and I will see you guys on the next stream, which will be on Sunday. Of course, there will be a bit of a change to this, the race. To the stream schedule on Sunday, which I'll be posting a little bit later on tonight in the Discord, so you guys can keep an eye on that, what's happening exactly on Sunday. But a bit of a change happening, and just to facilitate myself as well, giving myself about a little more rest, an hour extra of rest on Sundays as well. So that's going to work a little bit better for me. So thank you guys once again for everyone who joined on the stream. Make sure you guys leave a like, and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're new on here, and just follow on to our next streams that are going to be happening on Sunday there. So thank you guys once again. I'll see you guys on the next stream.